of nuts, seeds, beans and legumes, green plants, you will not have a problem getting enough protein. It's going to be there automatically. And the fats and oils. Okay? We have to realize that they also have to come in with the packages that they were designed to be with. Once you take them out of that package and start using the bottled oils and stuff in your foods, you're exposing yourself to fats that you can't utilize properly. And will probably end up being stored instead of burned off. So these are very important things that we have to realize about the basic parts of the food that we eat. Now, getting into the different parts of the foods that help make the body feel better. I mentioned before, colorful. The more colorful food that you eat, the more healthy products are in there. Now, we talk about greens. Well, greens are loaded with vitamins, with minerals, with all kinds of wonderful nutrients of the body. And they contain a pigment called lutein, which is what makes them green. Lutein pigment is what turns everything green. Carotenoids are what turn everything orange or yellow. And lycopenes are what make things red, like tomatoes. These are all pigmentations, but they're all very powerful antioxidants. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the term antioxidant before, but I probably guess that most of you don't know what they are or what that means. In your body, when things break down, everything that comes in is a chemical reaction. And when you break down a chemical, there are elements that are released off of it. These molecules are big chains. They have hydrogen and oxygen and carbon and all these different things. And when you break those chains apart, those atoms get released into the body. Most of them will connect to you realize that a handful of broccoli sprouts can take away your indigestion and heartburn? A sip of vinegar will take away that burning sensation that you've got to take that Tums, that Rolaids for. You know, there are all kinds of different plants that are used to make you feel better. Yes?
I don't know for a lot of what do you like? Put the broccoli and a lot of butter.
Okay. Here's my suggestion on that. The broccoli is good, the butter is not. If you want to put something on your broccoli, I recommend that you make any kind of fantastic dressings or sauces that don't contain refined oils or sugars. And you can put that on your broccoli. And when I say that, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like it's something. But every single day, I start off the day by walking into my kitchen, taking my big steam pot, and either loading it up with kale or broccoli or collards or some kind of a green. And I will do a light steam on that. And I will leave it there, and during the course of the day, I will come with a little bowl and take some of that, not all of it, but some of it, and I will walk over to my refrigerator, and I will open it up, and I will pull out one of the awesome dressings or sauces that I make that are nut-based or seed-based, which the oil is in them, but I don't have to add any extra refined oils. And if you take these and spice them up, the other day, for example, I made a creamy garlic. It was wonderful. The day before that, I had a pecan-based dressing with sun-dried tomatoes. Only involve your own taste and imagination. I make these wonderful pâtés all the time, and I make them from nuts and seeds. And they are absolutely fantastic. I gave Dr. K, when I travel, I bring food with me that I make so I don't have to rely on other people. One of the things that gets me through, and again, late at night, it's good for snacks because it's not sugary. I make a cracker out of sunflower seeds. I take the sunflower seeds and I'll put them in a food processor, mill them down, and then I'll add whatever I want to that. If you want to add vegetables, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, any kind of seasoning that you like, any kind of flavor you're used to that you enjoy. And then you just add enough water to make it into like a paste. Spread that on a baking sheet, put it in an oven, and either bake it, or what I like to do is I'll put the oven on, I'll preheat the oven, and then I'll put it in the oven and turn it off. Leave it overnight. And in the morning, it's a dehydrated cracker. It's not even been baked. It's not even been cooked. And yet it's absolutely delicious. And you can put anything on it that you want. Last night I had these crackers. I bought an avocado, and I had some avocado and crackers at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And because it's not a sugary thing, it didn't interfere with my fat cycle that goes on at night. So these are all little tricks and things that once you start to get into it, and once you start to learn these things, it becomes second nature, second hand.
What? Say something?
Sure.
I'm on the same page with you, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. And what you just told these kids, I don't think they still have a clue about what they can do. What I would recommend and what I did is just watch YouTube videos. There's hundreds, if not thousands, and just type in vegan cheese, type in oil-free salad dressing, and even if you have no cooking skills whatsoever, there will be a video on your level. And then as you progress and learn a little more, you can move up to the next level and do more complicated things. But I know it sounds totally overwhelming, what he's telling you here, but that's the way to start, and it's really not that difficult. I'm more of a visual learner, and I imagine a lot of you are as well. So YouTube is the way to go, just like if you want to fix your car, that's the way to go. It's the same way with this.
Certainly something that I will say to go do. Research is wonderful. The only problem is that not everything on YouTube or on the internet is correct. So you have to really be careful about picking and choosing what you're going to do there, because the powers to be spend billions of dollars a year to feed you misinformation. So again, that's a very important thing. Now, on the same note, a lot of what we're talking about here is for people that are thinking about more advanced levels of nutrition. There is what we call the transitional phase. Everybody that is eating that cheeseburger, that Whopper, that, stone crabs, that, whatever it is out there, okay? You don't want to give that up. I understand that. People develop their likings and they don't want to feel bad. So there is an entire industry now of what we call transitional foods, where you can walk into almost any grocery store now and find the meat alternatives, the cheese alternatives. Walk into any dairy case and you'll see the soy milks, the almond milks, the cashew milks. It's all available. But these are transitional foods, remember. A lot of these foods are still very high in fats, in oils, in salts. That Impossible Burger, while it is certainly hands over the regular meat burger, and especially on the non-health impacts, the environmental, the moral, the ethical. But that artificial hamburger is still loaded with half a day's sodium in one burger. So understand, these transitional foods, there's a company called Gardein. Now there's dozens and dozens of companies. But they make everything from the chicken nuggets to the plant bacons to burgers to full-on meals, stir fries and all the kind of thing. You almost can't think of anything that isn't being made now as a transitional food. It's all out there. It's all available. You can walk in and find the non-dairy butters, the non-dairy creamers. It's all out there. And these are great to get you on the right path, to get you to understand the implications that are going on, to realize that switching over from the meat and dairy into a plant-based diet is not only possible, but it can be practical, and it can be easy. It's a matter of information, learning. When I take on a new client, we start from scratch. I will go into that person's house and we will empty that fridge. We will empty those cabinets. We will take everything out of that house. And I will take them to the grocery stores or the farmers markets, and I will teach them how to shop. And I will teach them tricks. One of the biggest things that I hear all the time is, I don't have time. Eating a healthy diet, no matter what it is time consuming. It takes me more time than the fast foods or processed foods. So I tell people, you have to plan everything nowadays everywhere. You have to plan, going to get your hair done. You have to plan getting your nails, going for your school classes, everything has a time structure. So use that. When you plan in your grocery shopping, put an extra hour on the back end of that. Now when you come home with those groceries, take them. Chop up those onions, those carrots, chop up that celery, chop up all this stuff, get it ready, put it in containers, put it in your fridge. Now when you come home and you want to stir fry or something, it's just boom, boom, boom. Everything is already prearranged. Freeze foods. When you make a big meal, I'll make a big lasagna or something like that, and we'll eat half of it. And I'll take the other half, and we'll freeze it. Now, when you don't have time, you just go into your freezer, and it's ready-made, and you don't have to buy some Stouffer's product to, put a lot of fat and gunk in your body. So there are many different choices, many different opportunities. It's a matter of really starting to think. If I do nothing else today, I want to leave you all with this thought. Common sense is not common. In this country, in order to live according to society's ways, you can't use your common sense. It doesn't go along with the package. You will be at heads with everything. I walk out my door in the morning, I feel like I'm walking into an insane asylum. Nothing makes sense. Everything is backwards. But if you turn your common sense back on, if you forget what you've been taught and put your common sense back on, you won't even need to ask about these things. These things will come rushing into your brain. These things will appear to you as the common sense thing to do. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if you're putting something into your body that makes you not feel good, that you should keep doing it. But we live in a country where they tell you from birth, from even before birth, when you're still out here in your mother's stomach, everywhere that woman goes, she sees a sign telling her how to raise this baby that's going to come out of her. What that baby needs, what's important, the lifestyle to live, the way to go about things, and you are born into that. It's not even your faults. You're born into it, and nobody ever tells you anything different. You hear the same things all your life. You see the same things all your life. You walk into a restaurant, you open up the menu, it's the same things that they've been feeding you all your life. And you look at it and you see nothing wrong with that because it's the same thing you've been seeing all your life.